Jim Jordan here for a Citizens Legal Education. And today I want to talk about a subject that is a very emotional subject. It is the situation where more and more people are feeling vulnerable to a criminal incident, including these mass shootings that have been occurring more and more. Another mass shooting just happened this last day, a couple days ago in California, San Bernardino. 13 people were killed, and this is just piling up where people are clamoring for a solution. And not to go into the deeper solutions of what's causing this violence in society and what's behind it and who's behind it, but more to talk about what can you do in the situation to minimize your risk. So people from the liberal perspective are calling for more gun control, thinking that that would help. People from the conservative point of view are asking for more armed guards at schools and maybe abolishing gun-free zones where law-abiding citizens who have concealed carry permits are allowed to carry their firearms with them into whatever venue they are, whether it's a school or a movie theater, and they're able to defend themselves. So basically there's two basic positions, not even talking about what's the root cause of what's driving this whole process. What can you do in that situation? So the first thing to talk about is, what is the situation with the police? What is the duty of the police? Do they have a legal obligation to protect citizens? And the answer is a very clear no. State and federal courts, including the United States Supreme Court, has ruled clearly the police do not have an obligation to protect any individual citizen from a crime. Logistically, it's also not possible for them to be everywhere at all times. If you call 911 and the police are 5 minutes away and you have somebody at your doorstep to commit a crime, ready to harm you or attack you, it's just too late. So the reality of the situation is that we need to be responsible for ourselves. Citizens need to take personal responsibility for themselves, for the defense of themselves and their family. This was understood in the Old West, obviously, and it's starting to become clear to more and more people that we cannot count on police. We cannot count on the best intentions of the legislature with gun-free zones, which are just basically giving a free pass to those who want to commit crimes. They know that there will be nobody who's armed to defend themselves there. Not a good idea, and not a good idea. More gun control doesn't seem to stop it either. Even in countries like France, where it's virtually impossible to get a firearm, there's mass shootings. So the advice of the chief of Interpol, International Police, is to arm citizens, to arm themselves. More and more police chiefs and sheriffs are saying it's a citizen's responsibility to arm themselves and defend themselves. And that's a very hard pill to swallow for many people. They didn't think they would be in this situation. I certainly never thought that. My whole life I was an advocate of gun control, thinking that gun control would prevent these crimes, but it just doesn't. And there's no, without violating law-abiding citizens' rights to protect themselves, there's no way to really screen out everybody who could commit a crime. It's just not possible. So what we can do, I'll make another video later about how to address what I think are the root causes of violence in society, but what we can do at the source of the potential crime is for citizens to take it upon themselves to learn how to use firearms, which are the best force equalizing weapon there is. They can put the situation equal between a small, weaker person and a stronger person easily if you know how to use it. To take responsibility to learn how to use a firearm and learn how to get a license, a permit to carry it or carry it openly. And in a society where the law-abiding citizen is armed, criminals are going to have to think twice before committing crimes. When convicted felons were interviewed, what was the top thing that they were afraid of in commissions of their crimes? The number one thing was whether the potential victim was armed. If the potential victim was armed, that was a threat, and they were less likely to try to commit a crime if they thought the potential victim was armed. Armed with a gun, obviously, not with a baseball bat or something like that, but armed with a firearm. Not whether the police would catch them, nothing else. Just if the person was armed. So there's your answer. Criminals know. Common sense tells us that People should learn how to use firearms and defend themselves, and collectively they can defend their communities. The police are there to investigate crimes after they are committed, not to prevent crimes. That's my message today for Citizens Legal Education. This is Jim Jordan wishing you a happy and safe day.